Well, I saw a thing that said that 40% of Facebook posts right now are AI.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about?
So what are we? We're already there, though.
Yeah.
When you think about it, we're already there. So I'm feeling in 5 years, I think max is going to be gone.
Yeah, I mean, like now I write with the AI right there. I don't like use the AI to write it, but I'm like the other day I had to write a little bit about like the history of Houston rap. I just tell ChatGPT like, hey, tell me about the different eras of Houston rap. And it just completely summarizes it. I don't have to look up anything. And then I just kind of plug and play like all the details, you know?
I tell everyone, if you're not on it, you're losing.
Yeah.
You're going to get left behind.
If anything, I read about the things that these young college students are doing with it and using it for and how much like time they're saving and people saying like, oh yeah, I get so much sleep now because I don't have to spend all these hours reading and writing, et cetera. And I'm like, on one hand,
you have kids?
Kind of scary. Yeah, 4.5-year-old.
Okay. They say by the time your kid is an adult, more than likely they'll marry a robot. Marry.
Okay, that's terrifying. Yeah.
But you say that, and then people say that, and they say, you know, someone said, no one's going to be with a fucking robot. I said, hey, boy, blow up dolls. What are you fucking talking about? Imagine a robot that feels, looks real, and could talk, and does everything you want. Yeah, you're going to be like, that's my bitch. Like, you might have a real person with you, but if that bitch acts up, bye. And, you know, and I'm set. And they said, like, kids, I got grandkids.
We're already filming, right? Yeah, sorry. Be nice. I like to do the smooth transition.
Do that. Yeah, they catch the organic.
That's
organic.
Good,
no, he's gonna do it. They chop it all up.
Not AI.
This is real, baby.
No, but what I was thinking about is, imagine sitting there with your kid going over how to do a math problem.
Forget it.
When I was a kid, it already seemed kind of silly because it was like, this is the same thing that the fucking calculator does, right?
Yes.
But now, like, literally, your kid could go, boom, take a photo of it.
And it's done.
Give you the answer.
We're in a new world.
At a certain point,
we will be in a new world very soon.
But at a certain point, do you stop even trying to convince kids or show kids how to like do the grunt work of doing a math problem? Is that even necessary?
You know, Adam, this is the real challenge that we're facing as a society. Like, which way do we go? Because they're going to have to find new things to motivate them and move them forward and to advance culture and civilization, or else we're fucked.
Yeah.
We'll be iRobot.
There's a band on Spotify that's getting millions of streams per month. That's all AI. And that's kind of a worrisome thing. Okay, you know what genre of music I heard has been like totally cannibalized by AI is like chill, lo-fi hip hop type stuff. So it's just these like smooth, chill beats that people like as like background music type stuff. And AI is just better at making that stuff than the people who've been making it for years.
Music, I have a distribution company called Adventure Music. I got thousands of artists on there. I teach them how to own, operate, and monetize. And I remember when AI first hit, I was telling all my artists, why wouldn't you do a record with your favorite artist? You just said you came from Toronto, AI Drake.
Yeah.
There's AI Drake that has hundreds of millions of hits. Why wouldn't you create an AI Drake collaboration song? Like, that's the question. And when they catch it and pull it down, then you got to deal with it. But in this game of independent artists, it's really the wild, wild west. Meaning catching comes before hanging, as my man says, right? You got to get caught before they can hang you.
But I feel like we're still in the early days AI-wise to the point where like, okay, if you do a fake Drake collab AI song, I mean, the societal ramifications of you looking like a cornball are going to be pretty intense right now. But who knows what happens to that? Maybe we just get so used to AI that me getting a Tupac verse is not that out of the ordinary, because Drake did that.
So let me ask you a question, because if that's the case, is negative publicity bad or good? Because if you're getting negative and people say, oh, he's terrible, he did, or they can't say you're terrible, they just say he shouldn't have did that record with him. But now when you put out a real record, they might hear you. Like, wait a minute. He's all right. That nigga's all right. Or,
right.
You know
is there a way to use it that
to
gets
me,
you?
that's how I would do it if I was an artist and approaching it. I would approach it, I don't care, shock value, and then they come and take it down or whatever. But if it gets people to actually pay attention to me for that moment, now it's my job to deliver something magical.
Right.
You know, and that's, to me, what we do in music. We had to figure out how to do it before AI, how to get that attention on you.
Right.
You know, whatever that might have been.
It's kind of hard for me to imagine traditional producers really being pushed out anytime soon. But I think as time goes by, we're going to see more and more of that. Somebody showed me a website the other day that basically just makes beats for you, and you put in different commands. And it's like, give me an example. And I said, Dirk. Type in the word Dirk, and all of a sudden the beat starts to sound a little bit more like Dirk.
It's unreal.
And I'm like, oh, this is a big problem.
I forget the name of the company I was dealing with. Is from Japan. They used to come to my studio and they was trying for me to help market them here. This has got to be 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. All the beats you could imagine.
Right.
It's like the game's over. So I would tell producers, don't. Look, I know Timbaland is doing a lot of this right now and everyone's giving him flack, but this is the future. Take technology. What is technology here for? Technology is here to make your life better. That's the facts. That's what technology is, to advance and help you be better at whatever part of the technology space that it is. It's going to make it simpler and easier and better for you. That's what AI has to be for us.
Right.
And that's why you see that question with the kids, what do? You just say give up and don't give them. It's got to be, because that's what makes us different than a robot.
Right. I guess that's the thing, though, is like, say you or some other producer is able to pull out of a hat a whole new style. Like, very quickly, the AI is going to be able to pick up on this new style and be able to do their rendition of it. And very quickly, it's going to become, you know, competitive at the very least with whatever you just cooked up, which, I mean, that's really the big difference. The era that you came from was an era of extreme scarcity. Rap wise, there was so many hoops and things that you had to get through in order to be able to even get people to hear a record. When we hear, I was watching your old Vlad interview yesterday, and like, just
shout out Vlad.
But you at a certain point were, you know, calling into the box to request your artist's songs to get played, to be heard. I mean, that seems prehistoric,
primitive
in terms of where we're at now as people. But so from that era of extreme scarcity, we now are in an era in which we are so over inundated with music.
The question is, how do you find that needle out of that haystack today? Because music is so saturated. How do you find that one? And even to me, this is the biggest challenge. We would always have a mindset on, let's say, one hit wonders, like, and why is it one hit? They don't have a clue of what got them there. They just know the record took off and boom, God touched them, said, you it for this moment. Your record goes, now what the fuck you gonna do when it's time to make the next record?
Right.
You don't know, you have no infrastructure or foundational understanding of how you actually got there. And that's why we have one hit wonders. And today's, it's like amplified because social media, you might become that man that goes viral. Now everyone's on it and you don't know what happened. You don't know how it went viral. Right. And you try to repeat it and it's not working. The algorithm changed. Everything's different. And you're like, what the f? You're like, and you're chasing something that really you have no understanding of how you got there. And that to me is the biggest problem in music right now.
Because as a person who interviews younger up and coming artists, whatever, it's like an extremely common experience to have one of them tap in. I got this song. It's got 10 million plays. Nobody knows who this person is. Exactly. Like, nobody is interested in any way who this person is, but they got this massive song that everybody can recognize. And that has become so much more of a real problem. But now we've kind of gotten to the point where, especially with rappers, if you want to be taken seriously, you need a convincing backstory. People want to be able to dive into the lore. And that's the thing that I guess AI is going to always struggle with, is the authenticity.
Well, to talk about AI again in another space, which is movies, and that's next. There's a program out there. I don't want to give it up yet. It's still early. And you pay a fee. Let's say it costs you less than $4,000 for the year. You'll be able to generate AI movies with real people. Like, I could license. Since we said Drake, let's stay there. I could license Drake. I could go to Drake and say, I'm going to put you in this movie. It's going to be AI Drake actor. Here's the script. He reads it. He likes it, but he doesn't have to come, show up, nothing. It'll be Drake in the fucking movie. That's coming very fast.
That's crazy. Yep.
And that's fucking nuts.
Does this demotivate you? Does it look like, oh, this is an extremely bastardized version of the craft that you initially took on and wanted to be involved with? Or does it feel like, in some sense, this is motivation? Because anytime there's a shakeup, there's new opportunities for people who are resourceful and ahead of the curve.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. It's a challenge. It's the changing times, and It's either we evolve or we get left behind. And once you're left behind, you might as well be in a casket. That's it.
Right.
So it's about evolving every time. So, you know, when that paradigm shift hits, and we've had plenty in our history.
Yeah, even in our lives, yeah.
Right? In our lives, different paradigm shifts that took place. We still survived. This one is probably going to be the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
You know, they're already talking about they're going to have to, so many people won't have jobs. They're going to just pay people, give money, stipends, just so they could be able to move around. But what is the government really going to do? That's when that's when it gets scary.
Yeah.
Because shit, I got to eat.
Think about how simple the version of life that our parents sold us on was. You work hard, you get a job, you make money, you're able to buy a house, etc. Imagine like raising kids and kind of teaching them that like you probably won't be able to get a job. Shout out to our sponsor, Everything 420. They're like the Amazon of smoking gear. They've got vapes, grinders, glass, edibles, flour, and even shrooms. The E420 app makes it super easy to browse and order, and shipping is always fast and discreet. They're always running deals too, so check out the app and use code NOJUMPER for extra money off.